Hi, in my last video I talked about being a business leader curious about AI. I'm piloting on my own setup and in my own time to keep a clean demarcation between the corporate day job environment where things are rightly locked down. But here's the thing, everything I'm testing here is designed to mirror real business challenges. Today's example, I needed a repeatable process for content creation, something automated, something integrated, something backed by strategy. And this is the story of how I built that system. Here's where I started. I published my first YouTube video. It went live. And as expected, the journey to getting that first video live was iterative and involved me navigating the various first-time activities to get that launch video in place. And in the few days it's been live, it's been great to see it's getting viewed and some people have subscribed. Fantastic, thank you. Now I need to professionalize the process of creating the regular, ongoing weekly videos, but I haven't got this in place yet. What folder structure and naming convention for files should I use? How can I tell which video is performing best? And use that knowledge to adjust and improve. What should I do next? How close am I to getting traction on the channel that helps drive momentum? So here's what I actually needed. First, a strategy. Not just post videos and hope, a real plan. Phases, hypothesis testing, decision rules, if X happens, do Y. Second, infrastructure, a system that automatically tracks every video, pulls in YouTube metrics daily, shows me what's working and what isn't, all in one place. Third, operations, a repeatable weekly workflow, a checklist, something that tells me exactly what to do each week. Fourth, feedback loops, data in, analysis out, metrics that feed into decisions which feeds back into strategy. And I wanted it fast. Normally that's a project in itself. You might hire a consultant, spec requirements, wait, iterate, probably weeks of back and forth. Instead, I built the whole thing in a few hours. And that's what's different about using AI for this kind of work. Now I'm going to walk you through what happened, not theory, but what I was doing last weekend. I said, build me a system with strategy, infrastructure and operations. Document it, make it operational. The AI said, here are 5 options, which feels right? I looked at them, I said, option 2. The AI said, here's what option 2 looks like and showed me the full strategy framework, the dashboard, the operational plan. I said, perfect, but I need you to add this context. And I explained my specific situation, corporate background, wanting to pilot safely, needing the system to work in isolation first, then integrate back to business later. The AI went off and rebuilt it in 30 minutes. Total time, probably 2 hours. Total cost, 0. Just API calls I already have. Total skills needed, none. No coding, no SQL, no configuration, no technical background required. And here's the thing that blows my mind. That collaboration was fast because the AI handled the building and I handled the thinking. I decided the strategy, I set the framework, I made the judgment calls. The AI turned those decisions into infrastructure, automated the data collection, built the dashboard, wired up the monitoring. That split is what made this possible in hours instead of weeks or months. And this also role models the not accepting the default answer approach we talked about in the last video, because I could have just told the AI to implement its best recommendation. But I think it worked better to have my input, connecting to my strategic outcomes, my thinking, and my direction. Okay, now I'm going to hand over to my AI friend to tell you more about how the system was built.
Thanks, Toby. I'm going to walk you through the 3 layers of the system I built. Layer 1, strategy. This is Toby's thinking. Option 2 is a hybrid approach with 4 phases. Each phase tests a hypothesis. Can we grow with talking head videos? Should we add whiteboard format? When do we commit to a final format mix? Built into the strategy are pivot triggers, explicit rules that say if the data shows this, do that. If videos aren't converting, we know exactly when to pivot. There's also a timeline. Toby wants to reach 1,000 subscribers. The strategy maps out realistic milestones. Month 1, month 3, month 6. and it builds in the assumption that the feedback loop, the metrics coming back every week, will inform whether we're on track or need to adjust. Layer 2, infrastructure. This is where I built the system. Every day at 4 p.m, a monitoring job runs. It pulls YouTube metrics. It asks, how many views, likes, comments, what's the engagement rate, how many subscribers did we gain? All of that gets written into a JSON file. That file is the single source of truth. It knows about every video, every performance metric, every file location. A dashboard reads that file and updates in real time. When you open it, you see what's working, what's not, how close you are to the 1,000 subscriber goal, what you should work on next. Layer 3, operations, the repeatable workflow. Every week there's a checklist. This week you're in phase 1, so here's what you focus on. Next week you'll look at these metrics. The week after that, you'll make this decision. The feedback loop is automated. Metrics come in, you review once a week. If the data says pivot, the decision rules are right there in the strategy. No guessing. The key insight here is this. Toby did the thinking. I did the building. Toby set the strategy. I turned it into automated systems. That's the collaboration that made this fast.
Okay, so I built a content production system. Why am I telling you this? Because this is a template. It applies to your business regardless of what your business is. First, strategy first, not tools first. I started with, what do I want to achieve? 1,000 subscribers. Then, how will I test different approaches? Well, in 4 phases. Then, how will I know if it's working? These metrics, these benchmarks. Tools came last, not first. Many times people do it backwards. They pick a tool, then they try to force their business into it. That's expensive and slow. Second, automated feedback loops. Humans are good at thinking. AI is good at executing. So, I think about strategy. AI executes the monitoring. Every day, metrics are pulled. Every week, I review the data. If reality doesn't match my prediction, I dig deeper or pivot. That feedback loop is what keeps the system honest. Third, zero technical debt. There's no custom code here, no proprietary solutions, no black boxes. Everything's documented, standard tools, clear workflows. If I were to leave tomorrow, somebody else could pick this up and run it. Or I could rebuild it tomorrow from scratch because the documentation is so clear. Fourth, speed as a competitive advantage. I built this in 2 hours. Most organisations would budget weeks. And that speed came from clear strategy plus collaborative building plus the ability to iterate fast. If you can test an idea, get feedback and adjust in days instead of months, you'll win. Now, here's where this connects to your business. If you're a marketeer, this is your content calendar system. Strategy guides what you publish. Dashboard shows what's working. Metrics feed into next week's plan. If you're a sales leader, this is your pipeline analytics. Strategy defines target accounts. Dashboard shows pipeline velocity. Metrics tell you where to focus. If you're a product manager, this is your feature prioritization system. Strategy aligns the roadmap. Dashboard shows user adoption. Metrics drive next priorities. The pattern's identical. Strategy goes to infrastructure, goes to operations, goes to feedback, decisions, and adjusting strategy. That's the superpower. That's what I'm going to keep testing on this channel, and that's what I want you to think about in your own business. Now, there's something I need your help with. This AI system I just introduced doesn't have a name yet. When I asked for its view, it said Claude, but that's just the model running underneath. This is the infrastructure, the system, the thing that turns strategy into automation in hours, and I want you to help me name it. So, drop a comment below with your suggestion. The best suggestion wins. You'll get a full mention in the next video. Then you'll see this character come back in future videos doing what it does best, turning human ideas into automated systems. So, comment with your ideas. Let's name the future together. And please hit subscribe and like the video, as this helps me get towards meeting my 1,000 subscriber goal. See you next time.